Hello and welcome back. This is episode 21.5. It's a 0.5 episode, so this is a one game episode of Ranking of Saturn. Typically, the kinds of games we play in 0.5 episodes are games that I feel deserve a little bit more time than the typical amount of time a game would get during a regular 3-game episode. This could be for various reasons. Maybe they're mechanically complex. Maybe they're more like story-based games. Maybe they have very slow starts and only really start showing you what they are after the first hour or so. The game we're going to play today is, well, I would consider it one of the most important games on the platform. It is a game that appears in most people's top 10 lists and is a contender. I don't know if it wins, but it's definitely a contender for best sequel on the system. That's right, even better than Virtua Fighter 2. In terms of like most improved sequel. If it's actually better than Virtua Fighter 2, we'll find out by the end of this video. Anyway, the game we are going to play today is Panzer Dragoon 2 Zwei. Panzer Dragoon 2 Zwei is perhaps a game with one of the most awkward names in history. Now, many of you may already know that Zwei, the word Zwei is German for 2. So in Germany, this game has the very awkward title of Panzer Dragoon 2 2. A lot of people, therefore, when they refer to this game, usually drop the Roman numeral 2 and just call it Panzer Dragoon Zwei. That's a very common way for people to refer to it, so that is a way around that, you could say. Let me drop the list. Let me bring up the scaler. So I'm using a different scaler today. It is very similar to the scaler we used in episode 21. But it is a slightly different version of it. So I went out and bought 2 scalars. I wanted a scaler that handles on-the-fly resolution changes between progressive scan and interlaced without the second, the 2 or 3 seconds it takes for the FrameMeister to reacquire the signal and then re-establish connection with the capture card, which we've seen in a fair number of games we've looked at. This scaler I've got, it specializes in being able to handle those on-the-fly resolution changes, which is important because this game has them. It is not without its quirks. There are things that this scaler does not do particularly well when compared to the FrameMeister, but depending on the game, I believe we will go back and forth between the FrameMeister and this new scaler, which is referred to as a GBS-C. I have no idea what GBS-C stands for. None of the websites I've looked at told me what it stands for, not even the GitHub. It's a mystery, but I'm sure it stands for something. So I actually bought 2 of these fucking things. I bought the 2 most common variants of it. The one you saw last week was running on the ODV GBS-C, which is a cheaper variant of the scaler. It comes in like a kind of a really nice looking orange like plastic case. Looks really professional. And I also bought a slightly more expensive standard GBS-C scaler. It's not as it's not as like professional looking. The blue one, the second one, the one I've got plugged in right now, is basically just a bare circuit board sandwiched between two pieces of blue plastic. It's very awkward looking. It looks very vulnerable to like static and shit. So I'm keeping it away from anything. But it seems to be behaving itself slightly more than the orange one does. Last video we noted that the orange one was causing problems. It was causing the image to randomly jump occasionally, and it was also occasionally dropping frames, which was not okay. Very, very not okay. So we're going to be using the blue one, because that one seems to behave itself slightly better. Anyway, let's get on with this. Oh yes, this is also the first official Sega Saturn game released in Europe that officially supports the 3D control pad. So we'll be using that today. Here we go, Pandra Vi. So you see, so that it handled the resolution change there perfectly, because the menu, as you can probably tell, runs in the Saturn's high-res interlaced mode, whereas that that intro video was running in low-res progressive scan. The European, at least as far as I know, this is only a problem that affects the European version of the game. I don't know for sure. But the European version of Pandra 2 has some issues. Oh, that's right, this game does support widescreen. That's cool. Forgot about that. And, okay, what is happening here? Uh-oh. Okay, the D-pad on this 3D pad is not responsive. Okay, I think it's working now. I had to kind of just fiddle with it a little bit. So, this game has some issues if you are using a 3D pad, on the European version at least. And that issue has to do with the right trigger. Now, the right trigger is meant to be used, so both triggers, the left and right triggers, are meant to be used for panning the camera around, so you can see around you in 360 degrees. There is a bug in this version of the game where the right trigger will also set off your berserk attack, which is like your super attack. As you kill enemies, you slowly build up a little meter, and when that meter turns green, you can cash it in for a temporary super attack called a berserk. And it's inconvenient that the trigger that pans right is also, unfortunately, also sets off the berserk when it shouldn't, even when it's not set to anything. So we're going to set the right trigger to no use, And I'm going to change the Z button to view change right. A, B, C are all shot. X, Y, X and Y are berserk. Z is look right. That's going to be our workaround. Make sure that took. Yeah, there we go. Right trigger, no use. So nothing should be mapped to the right trigger. Nothing. But we'll see. Even though this is a flight game, I like to keep the up-down normal instead of inverted, because I think of it less as flying a dragon and more as moving a cursor around the screen, and I prefer normal up and down input for that. We're going to keep instrument mode on full, because that lets us better see what gives us points when we shoot it. Just back to stereo. TV mode will be set to wide, so let me just do that. So I've got to try and approximate a 16:9 aspect ratio, which is what? Would you say that's about 16:9? Would you say that's about? I would say that's about 16:9. About that. I kind of maybe should have set up a proper 16:9 window before we started, but I completely forgot that this game supports widescreen, so whoops. Yeah, that's close enough. That's close enough. If that's not exactly 16:9, it's awfully close, so we're just going to go with that. Sound balance, normal. There we go. Pandra's box is interesting, but we will look at that later. We're going to start a new game. This game is a prequel to the first Panzer Dragoon, so the events of this game take place before the events of the first game. And like the first game, the design of the world is heavily, heavily inspired by the works of comic book artist Mobius.
Laxenia curial profebo, mester fromos feos, tistanar, da, pasca feos.
Bukan, Laxenia genem.
Yotier ans.
Laxenia gene, geskel de tzadike, dan, ducati loki. After the duparas, the zen merks. Kai rotanak, pascal bo. De on to lagma ducati. Dan de keskete. No enfas eva.
Deanes mecania. Oni Valladinorum.
distana dan baskan famous.
Okay. Yeah, story plays a much bigger role in this sequel than it did in the first game. Okay. So the first level is less of a level and more of a prologue. I believe it's actually impossible to lose this level. So like the first game, you're steering a reticle around the screen and shooting things, locking on with lasers for hit multiple targets at once. The scope of this game is far more ambitious than the first game was. You kind of want to make sure you're hitting as much stuff as possible. That's how you get the points. There's a lot of stuff hidden around the environment that you can shoot that isn't immediately obvious. And make sure you get those. Oh, this guy over here. You want to shoot that guy. You can't kill him, but if you just pour bullets into him, you gain extra points. Guy as well, and if you just keep pumping bullets into him, he just keeps giving you more and more points. It's 10,000. There we go. That's enough. Anything up there? No. So part of the purpose of this prologue level is to introduce you to some of the game's later bosses. That's one of them, right there. That big flying thing we saw is also one of them. So is this other dragon that just flew past us.
Leia Lufisa Eutius Ena Keroe Luciana Smetui Forus Imperial Keskel de Taruka Tam Enamitas Nomitaituga.
So, fun fact, this game normally runs at 30 or 25 because this is the PAL version, but those little in-between cutscenes between the levels actually run at full frame rate, so those either run at 60 or 50. So it's like kind of cool. Ooh, flicker. Okay. Oh, I've actually got like a kind of a sore back at the moment, so if I make strange noises or have strange facial expressions at any point during this video, that is why. Standing up straight or laying down flat are no problem at all. Sitting down, kind of fucks with me a little bit. So if you see me grimace, that's what's going on. Destroy these tents before the fighters do, so we get the points. One thing this game has that the first game didn't is alternate paths in the levels. So there will be points in the level where you can either go left or right to change what happens. And we're going to go right here. We're going to choose Route 1. Going left, we would have gone and down Route 2, which meant we would have had to fight different enemies. Maybe even different mini-bosses. I'm going to choose the right path for this level because I think the right path is the more interesting path. This game is a lot more technically impressive than the first game. Like a lot more. It's kind of amazing. Like this game actually uses the same engine as Panzer Dragoon 1. Just the team did like the development team did like a much better job of like optimizing it than they did for the first game. Because at first glance you might think, oh well, you know, they made a new engine from the ground up, but no, this is technically the same, technically at a low level, the same code that Panzer Dragoon 1 ran on. They just optimized the shit out of it. And it kind of shows. It's nice. So had we gone left where the path forked, we would have had a longer flying segment, and we would have engaged in battle with some flying ships. But in this path, we do battle with a fort. I want to try and get as many enemies as possible because there's a good reason to do so. Oops. I think I missed a guy. Get those. That ship always hits that door and blows it open. Oh no, hit that a little bit too early. So, what I just did there, I instinctively hit the right trigger instead of the Z button to pan right, but I forgot that I mapped it to the Z button. So instead what happened was I set off my Berserk attack, because like I told you, this game maps Berserk to the right trigger no matter what. Making it very easy to accidentally waste your Berserk. Take down this mini boss. Now we should confront the real boss of this level. So I don't think you can actually destroy these ships. I think these ships are scripted to be destroyed at a specific time. Yeah, like this. They start smoking and crashing at the same time every time, so I don't think you can actually destroy those. Okay, and what you saw there was maybe the only part of this game that has a dodgy frame rate. Where those two ships get in front of you and start spewing out smoke sprites. Alright, here we go. So here's our first real boss. This Imperial gunboat. Ooh. I really like this boss because it's the way you can kind of systematically blow off individual pieces of it. It's really interesting. So if I focus fire on these arms that just came out, eventually the arms will detach. Good stuff. Like that there. Also target the pieces that are falling off for extra points. Grey boxes that detach from the bottom are full of mines, which are a good opportunity to get extra points by shooting them. Blew off that module. That would have been used for an attack had I not blown it off. There we go. And you can continue to dump fire into this thing, I think, for extra points. No? No, no. Not this boss. And you can see in the bottom right there, during that boss fight, there was a timer that was ticking down. And if you manage to kill the boss before that timer runs out, you gain a bunch of extra points. Which is good for reasons that we are about to see. We've got a shot down ratio of 98.5%, which is good, but I was kind of hoping for 100%, but we maybe let like a couple of enemies escape. So anyway, what you saw at the end there, depending on how well you did during a mission, your dragon can evolve into more powerful forms.
Sa imperia. Lerte genus riu Bromag Shiva. Ena denos keret. Eti aftefoni valukia naos. Den lagi.
Okay. Episode 3. This is probably the most well-known level from the game. This is the level that gets shown off the most, I think. Got him. Oop, other one. Okay. Oops. Collision. Ooh, okay, I told a lie. That frame rate got a bit bad there. And this game has a problem. Every level has, well, almost every level has like differing paths that allow you to do, you know, do certain things and go take different routes through a level. Most of them are hard to tell. Like, I have no idea. I cannot reliably tell when this game is going to choose a path. So, as you see there, we just chose randomly Route 1. I can never reliably figure out exactly when this level picks a path for me. It's a little bit annoying. Worms. He's got these gross pulsating worms. Ready for another worm? Oh my god. My god, my dude, will you stop? I'm just gonna use a berserk on him just to get rid of him. There's another one. Cool. I hate these worms, they're annoying. Whatever, we didn't get the last worm. It's fine. Alright. boss time. You can shoot this guy before he starts attacking. Remember him? He was from the intro. Oh well, the prologue. Prologue level. Ugh. Shooting the shit out of him. Shit. Okay, he's going to try and hit us with his arms. Missed. Shoot some of these mines he's laying down. Oh, he's charging a laser. Oh no, he's actually throwing a big boomerang at us. No, I'm thinking of something else. Cool. Alright, boss down. And we still had 20 seconds to go on the timer, so we gained a lot of extra points. We did quite well, so we're going to evolve again. There we go. Alright. Okay, now this is my least favourite level in the game. Every Panzer Dragoon game has a level where you're flying around tunnels, and this is Panzer Dragoon 2's. It's a good soundtrack though, I'll give it that. The soundtrack is quite... Oh, we chose Route 1. Accidentally. Some point there. Okay, here we go. Here's the second route. We stick to the left-hand side of the screen. We go straight ahead because I want to go straight ahead because this is the more interesting route in this level. Okay. Another on-foot section. And then we start getting surrounded by dudes, I believe. Okay. Got all of them, which is good. Now we're on this little elevator and we're going up. It's neat. It's a neat little thing. The ambition here is like kind of impressive. When you think about how simple the gameplay in Panzer Dragoon 1 was. versus what they're trying to do with the second game. It's kind of amazing just how ambitious this is. You want to shoot these guys. These are actually enemies in disguise. Alright. Let's just use the berserk, it's fine. I wanted to make sure I got those. Guys. I can just kind of run sideways. So here's one of the weird little visual quirks in this game. Because of the way the Sega Saturn handles its infinite plane effects, you can't actually have holes in those textures, so you end up with really awkward looking sequences like this. Like when this elevator reaches this floor, we kind of just clip through the texture because they couldn't create an actual gap in the texture for us to go through. So yeah, that looks real awkward. But whatever, it's not that distracting. Nice water effects, I'll give it that. The water effects in this game were considered very good for their era. Come out upon this giant underground lake. It's less like a lake and more like an ocean. All right, boss time. It's a fish monster. It's a weird armoured fish. So this game has this boss fight has a gimmick, and the gimmick is you cannot shoot the boss while it is submerged. So you see your bullets just kind of hit the bullets just kind of hit the surface of the water and get deflected. Right, now he's going to chase us. We've got to keep shooting him to get him to back off. If we don't do enough damage to him, he will hit us. Gone under the bridge. I like how the bridge is like made out of like floats or pontoons, big floating bricks. Now we're flying. This boss fight is okay. I'm not a big fan of the level, but the boss fight's pretty cool. To do that again, I did it again. I hit the right trigger. Oh well, I just wasted my berserk. Shit. Okay, you don't want to shoot these. Do not shoot these pink things. If you shoot them, they will turn into homing shots. You kind of want them to just despawn. Oh shit. Eventually he'll stop releasing them and he'll come out of the water, which is what we want. Uh-oh. Try and shoot us with lasers. Got him. Before the time limit expired as well. Keep shooting him for more points? No, not this one. That's that. That's the fish boss. Oh, and he blew up. Hey, we've got 100% shot down ratio, that's cool. We didn't evolve though. To get the best possible dragon at the end of the game, you ideally want to have enough points to evolve after every level. But we are short on points, it seems. This is my personal favourite level of the game. This one level is basically one just long continuous boss fight. And you basically spend most of the level fighting this thing. We're flying, appears to be flying just above this land of just poison sludge. Okay, it's going to spit out these little drones that will circle us. We want to keep moving so these guys don't hit us. Yeah, and you can't lock onto the drones with lasers because they've got little personal shields that block lasers. Oh god. Shoot this guy and eventually he will run away temporarily. And we get a brief rest before we have to fight him at the end of the level. There he goes. Come on. There he goes. So he dives into the toxic sludge and then swims away. To eventually come back later. Okay, now we start getting swarmed by these things. Loads of them. Okay, and then we get the big battleship, the Shellcoof. So maybe I should take a moment to actually explain the story of this game, because the game, it's been kind of breathless this whole time. So this ship that we are looking at here is responsible for destroying the main character's village at the beginning of the game. The ship is unmanned. It is an automated, machine-controlled battleship that has been dug up by the Empire, who is trying to dig up old technology from like mankind before the apocalypse happened. Because the whole point of the Panzer Dragoon universe is that it's a post-apocalypse universe, and that the world ended but caused by a man-made apocalypse via basically man-made monsters and machines, basically, that went amok and then attacked their former creators, went out of control, destroyed everyone. Humanity is a tiny, tiny percentage of what it once was, but luckily most of the machines and monsters have fallen apart and fallen dormant. However, in recent years, a new rising human empire has decided, you know what would be cool? Let's dig up and reactivate all those ancient monsters and weapons that humans created thousands of years ago, and maybe they'll work for us and not just start killing us again. Surprise, they start killing humans again. So you end up in this like three-way fight between you, this battleship, which is called the Shellkoof, and the human empire. You are chasing the human battleship. The human battleship is going after the Empire, and the Empire is chasing both you and the battleship. It's this insane three-way fight. There we go. I think I've explained the story of Panzer Dragoon well enough. I'm just going to use my Berserk, because the Berserk is actually, surprisingly enough, not useful during the boss fights. Because the boss coming up is actually immune to lasers, so we will have to rely entirely upon our gun. Come on. Come out. I think this is a great looking level. Here we go. He's back. So this guy here, you see that little green drone circling him? If you try and shoot him with lasers, that little green drone will interfere and block them. So you have to rely entirely upon bullets for this fight. And there's something weird with this boss fight. This might be another bug, I'm not sure. I haven't got a clear answer on this, but you see this boss, he fires out yellow lasers at you, but for some reason the yellow lasers never actually hit you. Never. They never actually hit you. They look like they're being aimed directly at you, but they don't actually do any damage to you. I do not know if this is a bug, if you are meant to actually avoid these yellow lasers that do damage to you, but they don't in this version, so why bother? Or if they're part of some other mechanic. As far as I can tell, seems like a bugged boss attack, which actually kind of makes this boss fight a little bit easy for where you are in the game. You see what I mean? That should have hit me. So you can actually do damage to and destroy that little green drone orbiting him with your gun, and eventually you can destroy it independently, allowing you to hit the boss with lasers. But the boss is already pretty easy, so hitting, just use your guns, it's fine. It's not worth the effort. I mean, look, he's already more than halfway dead. something hit me and I don't know what it was. Okay, got him. And before the time ran out, so we got a bonus. Damn, we got 16 points for that level. Okay. This is the second to last level. And this is the last normal level. Because the final level of the game is one giant boss fight.
NU denotes Dual to Pterodama. Tab. Scale miles denotes Felges.
See that guardian dragon that we saw at the beginning of the game? Docks with the bottom of the shell coof. I think technically this is probably the most impressive level of the game, because you're basically flying around the outside and through the inside of this giant battleship, and it's kind of rad. Unfortunately, this level's kind of hard. Sure you get these turrets, because they will shoot lasers at you. Getting 100% shot rate on this shot down rate on this level is incredibly hard. There's just so much to shoot, and it all moves quite fast. Okay. Damn it. I don't want to get hit because I need my health. Alright. This is cool. So now we're on the outside of the battleship. See, like it's really like the sense of scale this level has is like really impressive, you know? It's doing some like kind of cool shit. And now basically we've got to blow off these like I think I'm going to guess they're like steering fins, like oars. I think I mentioned before in like when talking about Panzer Dragoon 1, all the ancient technology is based on rocks that float, and it's very strange. And so this entire battleship, if you saw in that cutscene leading before this mission, the outside of this battleship is covered in what looks like oars, like an ancient like trireme or something like that. All these like little oar-shaped rocks on the outside just kind of like paddling their way through the air. It's really interesting. Now we've got to blow off these three major ones at the front. We're going to use Berserk to do it. And the frame rate takes a deep shit. Okay. Okay, I guess the frame rate does suffer quite a bit at several points during the game. But, like, it doesn't happen very often, and when it does, it's usually when you're fucking shit up, so it kind of feels good. Blow off the fins. That, I believe, causes the Shellcoof to slowly lose control. Now we're going back in. Try and get back some of that berserk meter before we get to the boss. Might need it. There we go. These are turrets. These turrets activate once you pass them. There. Fuck off! This is the part of the ship that we saw the other dragon merge with. And he's inside this weird egg. We need to destroy the outside of this egg. I found the best way to deal with this boss is to just fly in figure 8 patterns. So you're avoiding his shots, but at the same time you're still getting shots on yourself. As long as you're patient. Might not kill the boss before the time runs out. It's fine. Whoop. Oh my god. Okay. Got him. I had hoped to lose less health than I have, but we should still be okay. We should still be okay. Cool. Alright, and we've got a shitload of points. Maybe not enough to get the best dragon, but a good one. At least a good one. Maybe the Brigade Wing? Probably not the Sky Dart. The Sky Dart you basically need to ace a level to get. So you see we've shot off the oars on the left hand side. It's losing control. The dragon's not done. The enemy dragon, that is. Alright, final boss. Here we go. This final boss fight has incredible music. What dragon did we get? Okay, we got a brigade wing, which is like the second best dragon, which is fine. I thought we wouldn't get a sky dart. You need to do basically everything perfectly to get a sky dart. Okay, we want to get the hell out of the way. So when it boosts off, the engine, I guess the wash can hurt you. Shoot these little missiles out at us. It's fine, we'll just destroy them all with the guns. Don't let it hit us with his wings. I kind of want to save my berserk for reasons that will be very clear. Okay, he's going to try and hit us with his tail. As long as we dodge out the way, we'll be fine. Oh, fuck. Okay, I didn't think he'd get us there, but... Figure 8 patterns. Just dump. Oh, God damn it. Oh, get out of the way! Fuck! I screwed that up. Uh-oh, I'm not doing well. I need to use the berserk. Got him. Okay. Phase 1. Get ready for phase 2. I don't know if I can do this. I don't think I've got enough life. Okay. I'm going to try. Uh-oh. His wash or his wake, whatever you want to call it, hurts you, so you've got to try and stay out of it. Oh, fuck. Get out of it. So the final boss fight is just this one big dog fight between you and the enemy dragon, and it's kind of awesome. Oh god. Oh my god, I keep getting hit by his wake. We're just going to call it a wake. I don't know what else to call it. I'm not going to call it an engine wash, because I don't think he has engines. Ugh. Get out of the way. Where is he? This might take a while. Ran out of time, I didn't kill him fast enough, but it's okay. I think I'm still going to win. I think. Don't want to jinx myself. I got him. We're going to follow him down to make sure he's dead. And we're done. That's Pandra Dragoon 2. Or at least that is one version of the events. So there are different ending cutscenes depending on what dragon you end the game with. Like I said, the best dragon you can possibly get is the Sky Dart. We got the Brigade Wing, which is the second best, which is... it's okay. Most people will get the Brigade Wing. You have to really ace that shit in order to get the Sky Dart. So here's the thing I don't understand. This game is meant to be a prequel to the first game, but the dragon via psychic communication tells us of the events of Panzer Dragoon 1. So is he predicting the future? Or is this not actually a prequel? Panzer Dragoon's lore is complex and not always clear. And so yeah, the fossil he leaves in the heart of the ship is different depending on what dragon you get at the end of the game. So that fossil is of the Brigade Wing. So there's like 3 or 4 different versions of this ending cutscene. Yeah. Yeah, and that's that's Panzer Dragoon 2. It's not a long game, but it does have replay value. And it is a shockingly technically Sorry about the traffic noise. I do try my best to limit the traffic noise as much as possible, but some motherfuckers do insist on revving their engines as hard as possible when they drive past, especially at this time of night. Yeah, this game is a very, like, technically ambitious title. You can definitely see where, like, things that the developers wanted to do kind of brushed up too close against the capabilities of the hardware, but they fucking went for it, man. They really went for it. I also like a lot of this concept art that you see during this credits changes, again, depending on what dragon you finish the game as. So if you finish with a Sky Dart, if you finish with the Brigade Wing, if you finish with a different dragon, this concept art is different. I think some of the concept art also changes depending on what routes you took through the levels. So it's really interesting to see what changes in the ending, in the credits, depending on what you do throughout the campaign. Or single player. I say single player as if there's anything other than single player. It's single player only. That's nice. That's a nice piece of concept art right there. This game's got a really good soundtrack. Like, not amazing. I think that most of the music in this game is like kind of forgettable, but there's like 2, maybe 3 tracks that are genuinely like really good. That track that plays during the final boss fight is my favourite. It's really cool because there's some stuff from this game that shows up in the third game, Panzer Dragoon Saga. Like that, there's a mid-game boss that is, so there's a mid-game boss in Panzer Dragoon Saga, which is an Empire ship that, sorry. Okay. There's a mid-game boss in Pandra Dragoon Saga, which is like an Empire ship, which is salvaging the remains of the final boss from this game. You know, the big, massive dragon with the flower fins. And that's pretty cool to see that. But then halfway through the boss, the dragon wakes back up, destroys the Empire ship carrying it, and then tries to fight you, but it's like a fucked up, half destroyed version of that boss. Like it's all like half fallen apart and rotting, and it's really cool. And the same music that plays from Panzer Dragoon 2 plays during that boss fight, and it's really cool. It's a really cool thing. The people who made the Panzer Dragoon games, they really cared. And it didn't always generate. It didn't always translate into sales. The Panzer Dragoon franchise is a franchise that usually reviews quite well, but sells poorly, and it's a tragedy. It is. It's an actual tragedy. Okay. So we've got Dragon Master. Dragon Master rank. So we go to options and look at player data. We can see our best results. So total number of playtimes, 12. Total number of clears, 3. Best high score, best average shot down ratio, best shot down ratio for each episode. So I've got 100% for every episode except episode 6, which is almost impossible. I want to say Dragon Master is the second highest rank. I want to say the highest rank is Panzer Dragoon. I think it goes. The highest rank is Panzer Dragoon, the second highest rank is Dragon Master, the third highest rank is Weapon Master, and I don't know exactly what the ranks are below that. Alright, so let's look at Pandra's box. Pandra's box is obviously a play on Pandora's box, obviously. And you can unlock content in Pandra's box multiple number of ways. You can, I think the normal way to unlock stuff is to just spend time playing the game, and as you spend more and more total hours playing this game, more options get unlocked. Unless you have a Panzer Dragoon Saga save file on your console, then just everything unlocks. Panzer Dragoon 2 detects the Saga save file and goes, oh, you've got Panzer Dragoon Saga. Oh, we're just going to completely unlock everything in the bonus menu for you. And that's kind of awesome. So we've got like a bunch of weird stuff here. So we can... got a level select. We can view all the different versions of the ending cutscene. A, B, C, D, and E. So there are 5 different versions of the ending cutscene. So you've got some extra stuff. Omake, however you want to pronounce that. All the different versions of the credits. You can see all of the concept art if you want to. So zero space. Begin. Zero space, I believe, is just a debug level. Like there's nothing there actually. There's no like story or anything. It's just you going up against increasing waves of enemies until you die, I believe. See, first level, second level, third level, fourth level. So you can choose a specific level you want to start on. You can choose a specific dragon you want: Hatchling, Glideling, Windrider, Armonite, Brigade Wing, Sky Dart, Type 1, Pup, Type 2, and Guardian Dragon. So we go with Type 1. I believe this is the original dragon from Panzer Dragoon 1. You can start immediately at the boss if you want to. Pause menu on. You can add rolling, which is silly. You've got an unlocked sound test because most of the music in this game is not Red Book audio. There are some tracks in the game that are Red Book audio, but most of the music is actually played in real time on the Saturn sound chip. So next episode sounds. Episode 2. Load up any sound file you want from any of the levels, including the cutscenes between the levels. It's very cool. So let's go with 4th episode, Type 1 Dragon, rolling on, pause menu on. And you see it says box game. So if you start a game with any of these options turned on, the game will not save your results because it's kind of like cheating, I guess you could say. Yeah, see, it's the Panzer Dragoon 1 dragon, which is like a cool little thing. Hang on, my analog pad isn't turned on. I love the attention to detail because you can actually see the game actually simulates bounce lighting from the water below, because you see it on the bottom of the dragon. You see this green highlight running down the underside of the dragon, and that's simulated bounce lighting from the water. That's such a great like attention to detail. And they even applied it to these like completely like optional unlockable bonus dragons that most people might not even ever see. It's kind of cool. So now if I jerk left or right with the stick, the dragon will perform a little barrel roll, which is very silly. It seems like a strange thing to hide behind an unlock, but okay. I'm not playing very well, but it's fine, it doesn't matter, I don't care. I'll go on route 2 this time. So we're not taking the elevator. We're in this dark. We're in this dark room and there's no light except the occasional flash. It's kind of moody. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's back out to the main menu again. Okay, let's change what the settings are. Let's turn rolling off. It's interesting, but it's not that useful. Episode. Let's try type 1 is the Blue Dragon, the namesake of my channel. Type 2 I believe is the final boss from Panzer Dragoon 1, I believe. Yep, so now we are flying the boss dragon from Panzer Dragoon 1. It's very silly. And this boss dragon has a massive health bar, I've just noticed. I also seem to be doing a lot more damage with my gunshots as well, so I guess this dragon just has does a shitload of damage. Interesting, interesting. I wonder if the Berserk is different. No, the Berserk is not different. Okay. Alright. Alright, let's try another dragon. So we will do. So, Panzer Dragoon's Vi, the first official game released in Europe that supports the 3D pad. However, the 3D pad is not the only optional controller you can use for this game. So I'm going to unplug the 3D pad. I mean, this game is optimized for the 3D pad. You can use other controllers, but it plays best with a 3D pad. And let me see if I can find... Here it is. I found it. I found it. We're going to play Panzer Dragoon 2 with a mouse. It's a very silly way to play this game. It does work, but I would not recommend it. It's not a normal. Also, navigating the menus with the mouse is a little bit tricky. I think that's the canyon. Episode 1 is the canyon. I think. Let's go with the sky darts. Let's play the canyon level with the sky dart, which is an end game dragon. And the best normal dragon in the game. Alright, so now we're playing with a mouse. It's very silly.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Shut up, Alexa. I don't know why I still have my Amazon Alexa still hooked up. It's just more annoying than useful. Okay, no, it's not the canyon level, it's just the prologue. Okay. So yeah, now we're just controlling the cursor like a mouse pointer. And in some ways this makes aiming a little easier, but also controlling the dragon is not as... So here's the problem, you can't actually look around. I can't pan. I guess you would have to go into the controls and manually assign the buttons in order to be able to pan left and right. Pan the camera left and right, which is actually kind of crucial to playing this game well. Yeah, see, look, I can't... Okay. If you're already facing a direction that's not forwards, you can pan back to forwards, but if you're already facing forwards, the game does not let you slowly pan around, which is annoying. It's funny that the sky dart even has a run animation at all, because technically you should not be able to get this dragon until the very end of the game. And by the end of the game, there are no more on-foot sections, but the developers decided to put a running animation in there anyway, because they knew they were going to add a cheat menu that lets you play as any dragon on any level. So that's neat of them, that's just cute. Yeah. I've got no way to pan, because the mouse only has 3 buttons. Without customizing the controls, I've got no way to pan the camera and no way to activate my berserk. Hang on. There we go. So there's that control method, which is very silly, but it is supported. And then there's the silliest control method of all. That's right. It's the mission stick. some room. So let's try that again, shall we? Second. Sky Dart. Level Life Shot, Laser Berserk. You can also change the difficulty level if you want to. Which is interesting because this game doesn't normally have a difficulty selector. Like, difficulty level is excluded to the cheat menu, which is an interesting choice. You can give yourself a bigger life meter if you want it. 0 is like crazy. 0 basically means you die in one hit. That's for expert players. You can change your shots, 3-way, 5-way, 7-way, homing. Graviton. Let's do homing for the fun of it. Full auto lasers. BCG, heavy lasers, normal lasers. Let's do full auto. That sounds silly. No, let's do normal lasers. It's fine. Okay. So also, let's adjust these controls a little bit. So, navigating the menus with the mission stick is a little... In order to go up, you have to return the stick to neutral, then push it forwards again. It's a bit annoying. Okay, let's go... So I believe the trigger on the stick is A, and B and C on the stick can be mapped. Let's map B and C to pan camera. View change left. Come on now. Down. There we go. View change right. Berserk. There we go. Let's experiment with that. That seems interesting. Okay, this should be the canyon episode. Oh, okay. Yeah, here we go. Again, it's just funny to see the Sky Dart walking along the ground. It's very strange. So, this does work. I will say though, the mission stick appears to have a slight amount of delay. Like, it's not as responsive as the mouse or the D-pad or the analog pad. It's a little strange why this specific control method has got such a large amount of delay. Alright, we're going to go left this time. We've got homing guns. We're going to hold left. Go. Route 2. So if we take Route 2 in this level, instead of ending up at that fort where we fight that mini-boss, instead we take part in a prolonged air battle with several ships. It's kind of interesting. You do earn more points if you lock onto multiple targets at once instead of destroying them individually, so that is the main secret to getting the highest possible score. Lock onto as much shit as possible in one go if you can. I like how the radar will occasionally highlight certain areas in yellow or red to indicate, hey, you should be looking over here. Oop. Good. Now we're just in this big open void, which is a little strange looking. I'm assuming we're meant to be above the clouds, but I don't think we're that high. Unless it's like a mist or a haze or something that we're flying above. Let's try Berserk. You know what? The mission stick is like an okay way to play this. It's a little bit fiddly. It's not super convenient for aiming the gun, but for like painting targets with the lasers, it's okay. And I guess if you were going to use the mission stick, you would want to make sure that your vertical aiming is inverted. It just feels more natural that way. It's like the one time I would actually invert the up and down for this game if I was using a mission stick. Yeah. Right, so for simplicity's sake, I'm going to plug in the 3D pad again, because trying to navigate the menus with the mission stick is kind of a pain. let's look at those Omake videos. So, yeah, in order to view a video, you have to load it up like it was a level, which is a strange way of doing it. I'm assuming it's like a the easiest way they could implement it, I guess. The simplest way they could do it. So we select Omake 1. And then you get like some making of videos, some behind the scenes footage of like early versions of the game and interesting stuff. They forgot to put a space between Dragoon and Zwei there. So I guess this is a promotional video they showed at an event in Tokyo in 1995, announcing the game. So I guess they're starting off by just showing footage from the first game. Japanese text I have not bothered to translate, so I can't tell you what it says. Obviously something like, we're making a sequel, here you go. Something along those lines, I imagine. It's a very dramatic trailer. Oh, I found the Mobius comic that inspired Panzer Dragoon, by the way. It's called Arzak. And here is a piece of art from Arzak. Whoops. Yeah, so you can kind of see how Mobius's comic Arzak resembles Panzer Dragoon. Obviously the developers of these games were big fans and thought, we can make a game that looks like that. Yeah, Arzak, spelt A-R-Z-A-C-H. And then it just goes to credits because I guess it treats the video as a new game, I guess. It's a weird way to handle video playback. Right, I believe the other videos are more like actual gameplay footage of like early versions of the game. 2. Omake 2. Yeah, here we go. This is some like very, very early like alpha footage. You can see how in this like early version of the game they were still using the Pandra Dragoon 1 targeting reticle, which I kind of wish they kept. I think the Pandra Dragoon 1 targeting reticle is like way cooler looking than the more simplified one they went with. Kind of interesting because they made this sequel, I want to say, in like less than a year. Because of the critical success of Pandra Dragoon 1, Sega basically commissioned 2 sequels from Team Andromeda. One would be obviously Zwei and the other one would be Saga. But at some point during development, they started development on both sequels at the same time. But at some point during development, the development team of these games realised that, oh hey, the Saturn is kind of getting its arse handed to it in the marketplace. This system might not have a lot of lifespan. We need to get these games finished quick, or they're going to pull the plug on us. And so they temporarily dropped development of Saga temporarily, just so they could be all hands on deck for Zwei, and they got Zwei out in less than a year. Like Zwei is like, I think Zwei was done in like 10 or 11 months, which is an insanely short amount of time for game development, even back then. And then once Zwei was done, then it was all hands on deck for Saga, which took them slightly over a year to make. Which is even more impressive, considering the size and scope of Saga and what that game does, both mechanically and visually. It's fucking incredible they got that done in that short amount of time. And we'll take a quick peek at whatever that third video was. Quick to menu. There it is. As far as I know, Pandra Dragoon Zwei is one of only 2 games I know of that support widescreen aspect ratios. The only other game I know of to support widescreen is Nights into Dreams. And then I guess by extension the Christmas Nights bonus CD as well. It's I guess it's not that surprising. In the mid-90s, widescreen TVs were like not the norm. Really not the norm. It's kind of like 8K TVs now. Like, they exist, you can buy them, but almost no one has them. I want to say like 1996, more than like 95% of the market was still 4x3. Okay, where are we going? We want to go here. Panzer Dragoon Saga might have a widescreen mode. I don't remember, but I don't think it does. I don't think Saga has a widescreen mode, which is interesting because Zwei has widescreen, so why would they not include it with Saga? Unless it would have taken extra development time, which they didn't have. Okay, see what the last video is. I forget what this one is. Is it just more alpha footage, or is it beta footage, or is it just concept art? It might just be concept art. Yeah, this is concept art. Some extremely low resolution, artifacted concept art there. Like, it's almost a miracle you can tell what any of that even was. Alright, anyway, that is probably enough. Yeah, that's Panzer Dragoon 2. It's a really cool and impressive game for the time. Both in terms of its, like, as a gameplay evolution, a technical achievement. It's really, really cool and interesting, and it's a real shame that more Sega Saturn games weren't as ambitious as this was. Okay. Console off. So, where are we going to put Panzer Dragoon Zwei? Potentially the most improved sequel on the system. Well, it's better than Clockwork Knight 2. It's a better game than Myst. I like it more than Cyber Speedway and Pebble Beach. I think it's a better game than Wing Arms. It is a much, much, much better game than the original Panzer Dragoon. Like I said, candidate for most improved sequel on the platform. I like it more than the Saturn version of Wipeout 1. I might even take it over the PlayStation version of Wipeout 1, actually. It's a better game than Heberake's Papa Ito. I like it more than Golden Axe the Duel. I like it more than Magic Carpet. Completely different types of game, but I think Panzer Dragoon Zwei is a... I hope my back gets better, because holy shit, I don't think I can put up with much more of this. I think Panzer Dragoon Zwei is a more tight experience than Magic Carpet. Also, like, much more... I don't know, actually. Would you consider Magic Carpet more technically ambitious than Panzer Dragoon Zwei? Like, they're both very technically ambitious games, but for, like, in different ways. It's a better game than that slightly dodgy port of Daytona USA. I would rather play Panzer Dragoon Zwei than the Saturn port of SimCity 2000. It's a better game than Theme Park. I think Zwei is a better experience than definitely a much more ambitious and technically impressive achievement than Alpha 1, Street Fighter Alpha 1. The most safe, least ambitious fighting game on this list. I think it's a better game than Virtua Cop. I would rather play it than the Parodius Collection. I like it more than Darius Gaiden. It's a better game than Shinobi X. Okay. Now we're breaking in. Now we're meeting some resistance. Here we go. Would I rather play Panzer Dragoon Zwei or Virtua Fighter 2? Both games are technically very accomplished. Both games have very good frame rates, although Panzer Dragoon 2 mainly targets 30, and there are certain sections in the game where the amount of shit on screen causes the frame rate to drop temporarily, but it's never at points that like interferes with the gameplay. The frame rate dips never interfere with the gameplay. At least I've never known them to interfere with the gameplay. Virtua Fighter 2 is a very good 3D fighting game that runs entirely in high-res interlace mode, with the exception of like 2 screens, and runs at 60 the whole time, or 50 rather, because it's the PAL version. But in terms of what is actually happening on screen, it's not that crazy. It's just a flat 2D background with a flat 3D arena with 2 moderately detailed character models. In terms of like actual on-screen detail, it's not that impressive. The main part of Virtua Fighter 2 that's impressive is the resolution and the frame rate. The actual on-screen assets, kind of mid-tier. Whereas Panzer Dragoon Zwei, the gameplay itself runs in low-resolution progressive scan. It's only 25 or 30 frames a second. Outside of those little like between mission cutscenes that run at full frame rate, which are kind of impressive. But also like what you do in the game is so much more dynamic. Like the levels are so inventive and creative. You've got branching paths, big complex boss fights. Sometimes it's a building, sometimes it's a flying ship that you can shoot individual pieces off, sometimes it's a armored fish monster that breaks the bridge in front of you. That level where you're flying alongside and then in and then back outside the shell coof is like really fucking impressive from like a technical standpoint. It's got a great sense of scale as well. Like they make you like a lot of the Like the boss encounters, they feel like big enemies, like they are large things. The game makes sure that you know that they are big and a threat. It's really, really impressive in terms of like a present, like a gameplay complexity, like and also like a presentation complexity standpoint. It's really, really cool. So I'm going to say Panzer Dragoon 2 Zwei is a better game than Virtua Fighter 2 for the Saturn. Would I rather play Panzer Dragoon 2 Zwei or Rayman 1? Rayman 1 is an incredibly well-designed 2D platformer with beautiful pixel art, with great style, good controls. The main complaint I have about Rayman 1 is the extremely, like, harsh difficulty curve that game has. The first couple of levels are incredibly easy. You get past level 3 and the difficulty starts spiking and it never comes down. Rayman 1 is a very punishing game. And because of that, it can be very frustrating. Like, the number of levels that require, like, perfect, pixel perfect platforming and perfect timing and for long stretches of time, or you just die, is, like, very, very, like, rude. Especially the later levels. The later levels are fucked. Some of the later levels in Rayman 1 are just fucked. Just really hard. Panzer Dragoon Zwei is, I would say, quite forgiving in terms of its difficulty. It feels just right. Like, it's not difficult to finish, but it is difficult to get to get like a good score and end up with like a very one of the best dragons at the end. And also, if you have to, there is the cheat menu, the Pandra's box menu, which does allow you to change the difficulty level once it's unlocked. Zwei's got a better soundtrack. Zwei's, again, the Zwei soundtrack is, like, not amazing, but there's, like, a small handful of tracks in that game that are just incredible songs that just, like, they start playing and you just think, yeah, cool, good music. I can't really think of a single piece of music from Rayman 1. Like, it completely escapes me. I mean, there is that ambient track with the bird singing. There's that weird spooky track that plays when you're planting seeds and escaping the water. But I wouldn't call those necessarily great tracks. Man. Rayman 1 is a fantastic 2D platformer. Really, really good. One of the best 2D platformers from this era. But I kind of think Panzer Dragoon Zwei is a better playing game. And Panzer Dragoon Zwei is a much more impressive technical achievement as well. Kind of like Virtua Fighter. Like Rayman 1 is a beautiful game, but I wouldn't call it an achievement. I would just call nice pixel art. It's like, okay, somebody drew nice pixel art, cool. Whereas the way Panzer Dragoon Zwei looks, it took skill and determination to get that game looking the way it does. I think that's more impressive, so I'm going to say Panzer Dragoon Zwei is a better game than Rayman 1. X-Men Children of the Atom or Panzer Dragoon Zwei? Fuck. Children of the Atom is a very, very good 2D fighting game. Not all the characters are fun to play as, but most of them are. It's got a good number of characters. Single player is brutal. I think you heard me mention before that the single player mode in Children of the Atom is punishing. Like extremely punishing in a way that actually kind of like makes you not want to play it. Children of the Atom is only really at its best when you have someone to play against. Because fuck the AI. Jesus Christ. Like Rayman, it's got very nice pixel art. I don't find myself wanting to play it that often, though. That's the thing. It's a great game, but because of the problem I've mentioned with the AI just being insanely too hard, I find that I very rarely find myself wanting to play Children of the Atom because of that. Like, it's a victim of its own difficulty. If you don't have regular human opponents to play against, you might find that you very rarely play it. Unless, of course, you're one of these extremely gifted individuals who are just excellent at the game. Panzer Dragoon Zwei has got, like I mentioned earlier, kind of a perfect difficulty curve. Starts off not too hard, and then by the time you get to the second phase of the final boss, you are sweating. That final dogfight with the evil dragon is tense. And I've defeated that thing dozens of times over the years, but every time it's still, I feel like I'm always on the verge of death every time. It's kind of really, it's a really well balanced like difficulty. And again, like Rayman 1, I feel that Panzer Dragoon Zwei is a much more impressive technical achievement. As a video game running on the Sega Saturn hardware. But it also plays well. It's a game that looks impressive and it plays well. It's fun to play. It's fun to engage with the mechanics. There's a lot of replayability as well. Trying to get better dragons, exploring different paths in the levels, unlocking the Pandra's box options. I'm going to say, as a multiplayer game, X-Men Children of the Atom is incredible. As a complete package, Panzer Dragoon Zwei is like, I think better. I think, yeah, I'm going to say Panzer Dragoon Zwei is a better game than Children of the Atom. Okay. So it comes to Galactic Attack. Is Panzer Dragoon Zwei better than my favourite shooter of all time? Mechanically, they're very simple. I mean, they're very similar. Panzer Dragoon Zwei, I mean, Panzer Dragoon and Galactic Attack are very similar mechanics. You know, you've got your gun. If you hold down the shot button, you can aim at things. You can paint multiple targets in the background to shoot lasers at. Mechanically, they are very similar games. It's just that one is purely 2D and one is entirely 3D. Mechanically, they've got a lot in common. Fuck. Like the two games below it, Galactic Attack has gorgeous pixel art, detailed pixel art. It is almost, not quite, but almost arcade perfect. It's got a great soundtrack. I'm going to say the Galactic Attack soundtrack is better, overall, better, I think, than the Panzer Dragoon Zwei soundtrack. But would I rather play it? Would I rather play Galactic Attack or would I rather play Panzer Dragoon Zwei? Shit. Panzer Dragoon Zwei is a very enjoyable game with a lot of replay value. But the first 2 or 3 levels are not great. You have to play through that that prologue level every time, and that's not great. The canyon level is fine, but it's a bit dull because it's so easy. I'm personally not a like that. The forest level is like okay. I'm personally not a big fan of the underground level. Like the boss for that level, the armoured fish you fight at the end is really cool, but the level leading up to that fish is like probably my least favourite part of the game. The sea of toxic sludge after that is pretty cool. I like that. That's my favourite level in the game, just aesthetically. And then it only gets better from there. In terms of level design. So, you know, there are some less than amazing levels you have to push through to see the best stuff in the game. Whereas Galactic Attack, every stage is a banger. Every stage is like, feels perfect. Like you're never bored. You're never bored or frustrated by the level that you're on, you know? I'm going to say that Panzer Dragoon Zwei is not a better game than Galactic Attack. Controversial opinions here. I'm sure a number of you were expecting this to be the new number 2 or even 1, but that is not the case. Pandra Dragoon Zwei is instead our new number 3. It's a top 3 Sega Saturn game, for now at least. Who can tell what will happen in the future if we play other games that are even better? Who can say? Who can say? I'm hitting save. There we go. It's set in stone. Pandra Dragoon Zwei is our new number 3 between X-Men Children of the Atom and Galactic Attack. It's a good position. I do really like Galactic Attack. I do really, really, really like Galactic Attack. It's going to take something truly special, truly special to go above Galactic Attack. And so far only one game has managed that, Sega Rally. Anyway, that's this video. Alright, next video will be a standard 3-game video. The games next time are going to be, let's have a look, a survival horror game, a puzzle game, and a soccer game. Hooray! Not too bad. An interesting episode. I wouldn't call any of the games in the next episode amazing, but they are interesting at least, so there's that to look forward to. Alright. That's it from me this time. Thank you for joining me. My name is the Real Blue Dragon, and I shall see you again. Goodbye.